Alrighty, beautiful people. How are we doing today? Hello, Adele. I can see you've just joined. Give us a like and a love, and that way that will encourage the algorithm, and then other people can find us too. Right. Hope you are doing well today. Right, I'm just checking everything on my phone, making sure we're all good. Alrighty. So today's topic is how to how to deal with challenges, basically, so that you still achieve your goal. Um, and really, this you can place any goal in here, but I'm gonna talk to weight loss because that is mainly what I help people do in my weight loss coaching. Obviously, that's why it's called weight loss coaching. So yeah, this is really for you if this is your goal, if you have a health goal or a weight loss goal, and you find that you keep getting, I guess, dragged off track. So think about it this way: you start out by setting yourself a goal. Like, I have this goal. I want to improve my health. I want to fully transition to a plant-based diet. I want to lose X amount of weight. Right? You have this goal in mind. Um, and you start out making a few changes, and then it can be a few days, it can be a few weeks, but at some point in your journey of making change, something happens, right? Something else happens to start taking your focus away from your goal. I'm just going to put my table up for a little bit. So something else is taking away your focus. Something else is becoming more of a priority for you at that point in time. And this, my friends, is a classic form of self sabotage. Right? It's particularly self sabotage when you allow this, whatever this new priority is, whatever this new challenge is, when you allow it to have you quit on yourself. All right. So this could be something like an injury. It could be something like sickness, illness, whether that's you or whether that's somebody else who's close to you, a friend, a family member, a child, whether that is a death. Obviously not yours, a death in the family, death of a friend, but it's something usually that is fairly significant. It could be something like, starting a new job, and suddenly, oh, I got all this new stuff to learn, new computer systems, and new travel times. Oh my God, I've got to travel further to my new job. Um, it could be something like losing a job. Oh my God, I was on a roll and then I lost my job, and now, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. It could be something like, having a major deadline at work, where suddenly you've got to work extra hours, and your focus is kind of being dragged away from your goals, and is now, you're now starting to prioritize work instead. It could be things like relationship issues, whether that's with a significant other, whether it's with family members, whether it's with friends, even like friends falling out. Whatever that challenge is, if you are somebody who has gone through this process or has been through this before, where you set this goal, you start out, and then boom, something happens. And then suddenly you are putting your weight loss goals down the priority ranks. You're putting them on hold, right? And then you go back to old habits. You're going back to what's familiar and what's comfortable for you as you move your focus and your priority off to something else. You're probably saying to yourself that, oh, now's just not the time to be losing weight. Now's not the time to be focusing on that. I can't do that right now because X is happening in my life. My health isn't a priority. I've got bigger things on my plate that I really need to work on first. All right. And then you go back to your old comfortable habits, and the weight usually comes back on. Right. You're stalling your process, your progress. This is self sabotage at its finest. Right? And what it leads you to feeling is then stuck. It leads you to feeling stuck at your current weight. It leads you to start believing that you can't achieve the goal because something always happens, right? it seems like there's no way out, and that, you might start telling yourself, well, maybe weight loss just isn't for me. Maybe I'm just supposed to be. One of my clients said, dear client, if she's watching, you can say hi. She likes to say, she used to tell herself, well, maybe I'm just supposed to be fat and sassy, which is, that there's a wonderful thing about, being comfortable with in your body at whatever size. I totally agree with that. However, um, if your size and your health is needs to change, if your size needs to change, your weight needs to change for your health, for your mobility, for longevity, so that you don't get future diseases, or so that you can reverse current diseases, then your weight is still important, right? So um, so you might be just telling yourself stories like, maybe I'm just not meant to be at my goal weight. I'm not supposed to have the body that I want to have. And that can help. That can sort of lead you into then believing that, you just can't do this, and you start telling yourself more stories. So, my friends, if that is you, if you are on that sort of roundabout circle, trying challenges, falling off, this is the live for you. All right. So this used to be me. This used to be me in my 20s. I can't exactly remember what ages, but I just remember my 20s. After I moved out from home, I moved up with my fiance, moved city in New Zealand, and moved in with my fiance. I changed my diet. I did go vegetarian, but I was like high fat vegetarian and and not terribly disciplined vegetarian. Let's just say, I don't mean meat, I mean just not terribly healthy, let's just say. I thought I was being relatively healthy, but when I look back now, no, certainly not. And I also, stopped a lot of the physical activity that I was doing when I was a teen. So I put on a bunch of weight, and I certainly remember seeing my weight on the scale in kilos, starting with a 7. I'd never been that heavy before. I always thought I was fat growing up, but I was actually quite small and athletic. And so to see myself at this new weight, with this new fiance, or new husband, actually by this stage, we were married by the time a lot of this started, and it really got to me. And so I remember there was a guy called Bill Phillips. You can look him up. He's on Facebook. He was a bodybuilder back then, and obviously a personal trainer as well. And he had this 12-week challenge that was sort of like he wrote a book about how to do his 12-week challenge. And it was all about the specific exercises, the nutrition. And then he had these before and after photos of people who'd had amazing transformations. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to become one of those people. And so I used to try and do his programs, but of course this is the days before internet, before social media, all the things, before there was like support groups and stuff like that. So literally I was just doing it from a book, and it was relying on me. I was relying on me to motivate me to keep going. But while I was doing it, I was also being very kind of restrictive with it, particularly with the food. With his food plan, it was like 1 protein, 1 starch, 1 vegetable. It's like, so my food was pretty boring. I wasn't making things that were terribly tasty, because I thought it had to be this very simple plan that was very restrictive. But I also had a really poor relationship with myself at the time. I was doing this in order to I thought I needed to lose the weight in order to feel loved, to love myself, so that my ex would now ex would love me, because I felt this, my weight was starting to become a bit of a discussion point, let's just say, in the marriage, which of course annoyed me no end and did not help the relationship. But yeah, I started sort of talking to myself terribly because of it. Like, how could I let myself get like this, and so I wasn't my own best friend through that process. And I found that I would get about 3 to 4 weeks in, and then I would fall off track. There would be something fairly minor, that became an excuse to stop. It was like some sort of challenge that knocked me off my tracks, that led me to an off-plan eat, or missing a workout or something like that. And I would tell myself that, um, I wasn't perfect, so therefore I'm going to fail. And so that was my excuse to really stop what I was doing, because my focus had started to go somewhere else. Oh, I had to work later, I had to work later in the office because I was starting to progress in my career. And so I missed a workout. Oh my goodness, I'm going to fail. I was tired one morning, so I didn't get up and do my morning workout. So, I'm a failure, so I'm not going to be able to get there. I may as well quit. All right. So, and then I was sitting around, then of course I'd quit the plan because one, it was more of a relief. It was a relief for me to stop speaking to myself terribly. And I just decided that it wasn't a priority for me. Basically, I decided that, well, maybe I'm just not capable of getting my old, more athletic self back. Maybe those days are gone. I'm getting older. All the rubbish I used to tell myself to justify stopping the goal. Because for me it was about, I needed to be perfect in order to get to the exact result that I wanted by the exact 12 weeks. Like, life goes on after 12 weeks, right? So it was crazy. And the thing is, I was also relying on motivation to get me through. I was relying on being motivated. So in the very early days of starting out on a weight loss journey, for example, most of us are very motivated. We've got something that is kicking our butt going, you need to change, you need to do this, it's important for you. And then after 3 or 4 weeks or so, you really like depleted of motivation. So, you know, we I was sitting around waiting for motivation to be my motivator. And relying on motivation is actually bullshit. Motivation is not what you need in order to succeed. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But the difference from then to now, what's happening for me now, and you might have seen my post I did recently. I have signed up to do the Sculpted Vegans Buns and Guns challenge, which is great. It's an 8-week sort of like body sculpting type challenge, so similar to what Bill Phillips was doing. However, within the online community, we have support, we have coaching, so it's much more social. There's a lot more engagement with other people who are doing it, rather than feeling like you're actually on your own. So I signed up to that, and then, like, in my week 2, which was last week, I had some challenges. I had some challenges that 20 years ago would have completely knocked me off track, but this time it was different. Right, so 3 challenges. I decided to skip a workout to reconnect with someone who is very dear to me, and I hadn't seen for a couple of years. I decided that one workout, in the grand scheme of 8 weeks, in the grand scheme of my life, is not going to make too much of a difference. It was not going to be my excuse to bum out, but the relationship was important to me, so I made the decision, this is okay. I was making a conscious decision about that. 2, I pulled a muscle in my quad. It was a minor muscle. However, if I'd carried on working out, if I'd done my walks, if I'd done my leg day that day, I would have further injured myself and put myself out of action for longer. So I chose to take that day off, to rest that leg, because I could feel that it was minor, but it was going to heal pretty quickly. And right, the next day it was fine. It was fine again. So I was able to do my walk. I got all 3 workouts in. And I went back to the gym and did the next weight session. But the next day, like that night, I started coming down with a sore throat. So then I got a minor flu. Again, very minor. I've been eating a lot of greens and drinking a lot of water. So I think my immune system was right and ready to take care of it, right? But that sort of put me out of action for another day. I just really didn't have the energy to even pick myself up and go for a walk. I was just feeling run down. It didn't put me in bed. I was able to continue working with my clients. I think I had 6 coaching calls fully that day. So I was able to keep working through. But I just purposefully, again, decided to take that rest day because I didn't want to make it worse. I wanted to get straight back in and push hard as soon as I could. And I knew that even if I went and did like a half-assed workout, that I would probably set myself back. So again, I made a decision. So 3 challenges all in one week. Like, how many times does that happen? I decided it was not going to be the thing that was going to drag me off track. I was not going to let this be the thing that boots me out of this competition. I decided that this does not mean that I'm going to fail, right? I decided that that I am going to stick to what I can as much as I can. And last week I stuck to my nutrition plan. So where I couldn't do the movement necessarily, I stuck to my nutrition plan. I kept myself well hydrated. I kept getting as much rest as my body needed. So I kept all my other habits up, right? I kept the focus there. Just because I had a couple of challenges where I couldn't do a few things did not mean that everything had to go out the window. So some of the big differences between me then versus me now, then I was relying on motivation, feeling motivated every day to do the things. Ugh, right? I didn't really believe I could succeed. Like in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I always fail. I always fail. I always fail. I was too focused on that end result by the end date. Like I had to have that end result by the end date, or else I'd failed, right? And I was too focused on being perfect the whole way through. So again, because I needed to achieve the exact result by the exact date, if I wasn't perfect, then that would mean I would fail. So I had to be perfect. So anytime I wasn't perfect, oh my God, it was a shit show. I was a failure. All right. And I was doing it from a negative internal place. Like there was something wrong with me that I had to fix, that I wasn't perfect. And I needed to fix that. And I was so desperate to look better so that I could feel like I was loved by myself and my ex. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Lydia. Great to see you ladies here too. Versus me now. I'm relaxing into this thing. I'm not relaxing in terms of my training, but I'm relaxing into the process. In the Facebook community, for this particular challenge, I have seen a lot of ladies jacking up their anxiety prior to even starting. Like, doing what I did 20 years ago, right? Oh, I'm gonna fail. Oh, this is so hard. Oh, I'm scared. I just decided, no, I'm going to relax into this and I'm not going to expect 100% perfection from myself. It's okay if things slip, whether that's with my food, whether that's with my nutrition, but I know that everything I'm doing is so much more than I have been doing. So every extra is a win, all right? I created myself a plan, just a really simple plan, and I'm following it. So this particular program does come with meal plans, and it comes with exercise plans as well that are really, really simple. I'm adapting the meal plans to be whole food plant-based because I don't want to do all the protein powders and foam meats and stuff like that. So I am adapting it, but I'm following it again. I'm following as much of it and the guidelines as possible. I'm just not giving a toss about the macros because for me it's too high in fat. It's too it's too high in fat. I want to bring up the carbohydrates and bring down the fat, and if the protein comes down as well, then I'm okay with that. I just rather have lots of nutrient density in there. I don't need to look like a bodybuilder by the end. For me, this is about doing this particular shred, all right? And so I've also decided to just take away the emotion from this. I don't want to do it today, which means, if I'm saying to myself, I don't want to do it today, it means I'm not motivated, right? So that is relying on motivation. I'm not going to rely on motivation. I'm going to rely on my plan. I'm going to stick to my plan. Like I do my food prep on Sundays, so that I don't have to worry about food for the week. And it's very, very simple. I generally eat the same thing for lunch and dinner 6 days of the week, and have the same breakfast every day as well. Right? It's simple. Right? Just keep it really, really simple, and then it means that those extra time that I need for the workouts doesn't have to. The time that I would otherwise be needing in the kitchen to cook I don't need that, and I can put that into my workouts so that I can focus on the workouts. I just come home from my workouts in the evening, boom, there's food already there. If ever I'm hungry, boom, there's food already there. I'm not tempted to stray off the plan because my week is done. It's all there. Same with my workout plans. Like we're following a particular workout plan. We've got 2 cardio sessions a day plus a weight session. The cardio is low impact, so it's easy. I'm walking like easy, right? And I just do one cardio and weights together, and then another cardio in the day. I schedule all of this into my calendar so I know what I'm doing when. Um, and it's just like an appointment that I have with myself. So I'm trying to create rhythm and trying to create habit as opposed to, oh, I don't feel like doing it today, or forgetting that I'm supposed to be doing it. Right? I'm also not doing it out of desperation this time to like or love myself. I've done that work. I've done that work. I'm in a good place. I'm now doing this to challenge myself to do something hard. All right. I'm not doing it to fix a broken body. I'm not doing it because I don't like my body. I'm doing it because it's going to be hard. And I like a bit of a challenge. I want to challenge myself to do something hard. And I'm wanting to step outside my comfort zone on purpose to see what I can achieve, right? Can you see the difference in the energy? One, I'm trying to fix myself. The other, it's like, no, I'm trying to stretch myself, all right? I'm also not worried. I don't care necessarily if I don't hit my target, if I don't look exactly like I think I should by the end of the 8 weeks. Because guess what? Life goes on beyond 8 weeks. This is a massive thing that took me, I don't know, 10 years to realize. All these 12-week challenges I tried to do in my 20s, trying to get there quick. And all I should have realized is that life goes on after 12 weeks. Just develop some habits, consistency in habits. And that over a 5-year, 10-year period is what will get you to where you want to go, right? We're all just too used to instant results around here. And what doesn't happen with instant results is we don't change who we're being in those moments, all right? So I'm also not relying on motivation here. I'm not relying on feeling motivated every single day because I know that's not going to happen. Motivation, people, is an emotion that is like any other emotion. It comes and goes. Just like happiness. You're not happy every single day. You're not sad every single day. You're not angry every single day. You're not disappointed every single day. So you're not going to be motivated every single day either. All right. So motivation is an emotion that we can create within us for sure, but we don't want to rely on it. We want to rely on discipline and commitment, and that's what I'm relying on myself for as well. Discipline and commitment to just follow through with my plan. I'm also making my plan as easy and as simple as possible so that I have less resistance to following through. All right. So that's really the difference between now and then for me. If you've got any questions about that. So Adele, yes, each 10 weeks can be the extra motivation for a specific area along with our consistent efforts. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to talk to that in a moment too. Yeah, what I've also come to realize over the course of my life is not only that we don't need to try and get all the results now, right? That it's more about developing those habits and becoming the new version of us over time. I've also come to realize that challenges are not a problem, and that challenges are something that we should expect when we set out to achieve a goal. We are stepping outside of our comfort zone, so we're going to face new things trying to achieve a new goal, right? If we keep retreating back to the cave, we never get out of the cave. We've got to be able to learn to face challenges while outside of that cave in order for us to get across and get to the other cave on the other side. I hope that makes sense. I like metaphors. Because challenges in life are the very thing that we need to overcome in order to prove that we are ready for the results, that we are ready to become that next version of us. When we keep retreating back to that cave, we keep retreating back to the old version of us, and that's where we end up staying. We've got to learn that challenges will come, and that we need to learn how to deal with them in a slightly different way, not let them drag us off track completely. Yep, there might be a minor hump for a moment, but getting back on track is the main thing. How we respond to our challenges is really what counts, right? It's the challenges that actually make us stronger. Challenges in life in general make us stronger, right? You know, how many times have you seen inspirational people speak? You never see an inspirational, motivational speaker who got up on stage and told everybody else what to do without their own personal story, their own personal story of hardship in some way. Someone has always had a battle of some sort that they overcame. That is what makes us stronger. All right. So that's what's going to make you stronger too. Um, and you want to learn how to stay committed to your goal and disciplined despite your challenges. Right? That's when we become the next level version of us. That's when we get the goal. All right. So when I faced my challenges last week, I pulled discipline and commitment to keep going with my plan as much as I could at the time. Even if I couldn't work out, I was doing what I could to recover, to rest and recover my body as soon as possible so that I didn't exacerbate the issue, so that I could get back on track with training hard as soon as possible. I stuck with my meal plans, stuck with my nutrition, stuck with my water, stuck with my sleep. All right. I didn't say, oh, well, there's just proof that I can't do this, and fall off track and go back to, go back to old habits of not working out 3 times a day. So it's like I often say to people, just because we get a small dent in our car, i.e. the challenge, doesn't mean we need to go and take to our car with a sledgehammer and completely destroy it, i.e. completely fall off track and decide that we can't achieve the goal. So, we shouldn't look to do that with our health and our weight loss goals either. One small bump in the road doesn't mean you need to go fall off completely and tell yourself that you can't do it. I call it going into fuck it mode. We don't need to. We just need to allow a moment of imperfection and course correct and keep going. It's simple as that. We just want to take all the negative emotion and all the spiraling doo-doo thoughts away from that situation and just get back to work. Just get back to the plan. Just get back to the commitment. All right. So I've got some tips for you to help you stay committed, I guess, or work through challenges or steps to achieve your goal, really, when there will be challenges. One, let's start with knowing what you want to achieve. What is your goal? Right? Have an idea of how long you want to make, it is that you want to achieve that goal. Like by when? That's what I'm trying to say. By when do you want to achieve that goal? Making it realistic, but also not being married to that timeline. Allowing yourself to be flexible. Right? We want to allow flexibility, and we want to just keep going until we get there. That's the main thing. But first of all, knowing what you want to achieve is really, really important. So you want to set that goal, and you want to make it the outcome, right? The outcome, you're not creating action steps at here. You're not creating the habits here. Like, you're not saying my goal is to go to the gym 3 times a week. That's not what we do at this point. The goal is the outcome that you want. And making it realistic. If your goal is weight loss, I always say an average of 1 pound per week. That'll just give you a rough idea of the timeline. It's not going to happen 1 pound every single week. We all know that. Go back and look at Tammy's interview. You'll see hers was not like that. But she still, in 30 weeks, lost 30 pounds, right? So still an average of 1 pound per week. 2, know why that this goal is important to you. Your why is going to help you create the commitment that you need to keep going. Your why is going to be about becoming that next version of you. Why do you want this? What life is waiting for you once you get there? Who is that version of you? If you haven't done my training on understanding your why, you got to go back and watch it, all right? It's pinned to the top of this group. Or put it on your to watch list. If it's not pinned to the top of the group, you'll find it under guides. So you want to make sure that you watch that so that you understand the process of really deeply finding your why. You don't just want to, because I want to look better, I want to feel better, I want to fit into my clothes. You want to dig deeper into that and discover who it is that you really want to be in your life, because that's going to create the commitment to help you get there, and understand who that next level version of you is in order to start stepping into that version. All right. So that's number 2. Know your why. 3. This is all the stuff we do before we even start, guys. 3. You want to break your big goal. That big goal we looked at number 1. You want to break it down into bite-sized chunks. So, if your goal is say 50 pounds, break it down into the first 5 pounds. So you may have a vision from your why of who you want to be and what life you want your life to look like. But hell, you probably have no idea how to get there right now from where you are right now, right? If you want to lose 50 pounds, you're probably thinking you need to change everything all at once. No. What you want to do is break it down into these small chunks. You probably know how you can lose 5 pounds, the first 5 pounds. And here is where we start looking at the action steps that you want to take. So what are the daily habits or the action steps that you want to do? Well, let's talk about habits. What are the daily habits that you want to adopt or drop right now that are going to help you to get to that first 5 pounds? If you're thinking 50 pounds, if you've got 50 pounds in the back of your mind, you're going to start wanting to change everything in your life right now, right? But I encourage you to start small. Start small, because if you go too big too soon, it's too much change, it's too overwhelming for your brain. You will have a lot of resistance, right? It's going to be very, very hard for you. And that is when you start to look for any reason to quit. That's when challenges come into your life. So you want this goal, all right? With all that change you just created in your life, you've got to get through this challenge. And that is when you find your attention starts to go more towards your challenge and away from your goals. So keep it small. What can I do to lose the first 5 pounds only? That'll get you through your first month. Easy, done. All right, we don't want to make it too hard. We want to make it achievable. We want to stretch ourselves, yeah, but we want to make it achievable in bite-sized chunks. Because when you make it too big a stretch, it becomes too hard to achieve. You got to make too much change all at once, and that's when you find those little excuses to quit. Any challenge that comes your way is an excuse to just go, nah, can't do it, and you start prioritizing your challenges. 4, you want to create some sort of plan. So now you know what daily habits or action steps you want to change, right? What you want to change in your life. All right, create a plan with that, right? Get it out of your head. Do not try and program it into here. It is not habit yet. It is not habit. It's not sitting in your habit brain because you haven't been doing it on auto repeat already. New habits require you getting them out of your brain. Your conscious mind will not hold on to that stuff either. It's not programmed to remember that sort of stuff. It's programmed to work on complex solutions for you. Make decisions and come up with answers to complex questions for you. It's a processor. So you want to make sure that you get all of this stuff out of your conscious mind and down outside you somewhere, whether you write it on a piece of paper, whether you write it on sticky notes around your house, whether you program it into your phone and have reminders in your phone, whether you schedule in all of your, the things that you're going to be doing. Like for me, it's workouts and food prepping. You schedule all of that into your diary so that it is an appointment with yourself. And then you can look at what else you have going on in your day, and you can make time. You can be flexible and you can move your stuff around so that you can still make time to work on the things that are important to you, i.e. your goals, right? You need to have that plan. Little post-it notes. If it's something like drinking water, setting alarms to remind you, or having little post-it notes all around your environment that say drink your water, drink your water, drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. Having a bottle that shows you how much you've drunk and by what time can be very, very helpful as well. Anything that is visual and not kept in here, just do not trust yourself to remember it, because your brain is not designed to do that, all right? When people say, oh, I've just got a terrible memory, it's like, no, you're just not using your brain properly. It's not designed to remember that sort of stuff, all right? All right, so that was number 4, create a plan. Number 5, it's really easy. The really easy part, follow your plan. Sounds easier than it actually is, right? But what we're doing here is this is where we create the discipline, um, and you want to what we want to do is build that trust with yourself that you're going to follow through on your promises to yourself. When it comes to following your plan, you also want to expect that your brain is going to complain and throw up some resistance to doing new stuff. That is not a problem. Let's not make it a problem. Let's not decide, well, I don't feel like doing it today. I'm not going to do it today. I must not be, I have a problem. I can't do this. So know that your brain is going to say no. Know that your brain is not going to want to wake up early in the morning and go do some exercise. Know that your brain is going to throw a little tanty with regards to doing something new. It's to be expected. It's what brains do. Conscious mind is like, oh, too much more stuff to think about. Habit brain, oh, I don't know how to do this shit. No one wants to take responsibility in there. You have to take responsibility. You have to create that commitment and that discipline to the plan, right? You are not going to feel motivated every single day. Like I said, motivation to follow through with your plan is as an emotion that's not going to be there every day. You need to create the commitment to following it through and the discipline as well. And I want you to stop. If you're saying to yourself, I'm just not disciplined, I want you to stop saying that too. You are owning the identity of somebody who is not disciplined. That's all just drama in your head. I want you to adopt the discipline of I want you to adopt the identity of somebody who is disciplined. You might not be disciplined at the moment. You may have struggled with discipline in the moment, but this is a muscle that you need to build, all right? Just like the physical muscle on your body. Discipline is something you need to practice. This is actually what your future you requires you to do. Your future you requires you to develop the muscle of discipline and commitment. You actually get to achieve your goal when you start showing up as that future you. You need to show up as that version of you now in order to get to the goal. And that version of you is committed and is disciplined. So how can you start practicing being that version of you? Practice your commitment, practice your discipline. And number 6, this is the really important part. Expect the challenges. I don't know how many people I've worked with now in terms of helping them lose their weight, but almost all of them, in fact, I'd say all of them have faced some level of challenge as they start their journey, either as they start their journey or partway through their journey, right? It's normal. Challenges don't mean that you won't succeed. As I said, challenges are the thing that you need to overcome in order to get to the goal. So what you're going to do is expect challenges. You're not going to expect that because you've decided to achieve this goal, that life is going to be plain sailing from here on and everything is just going to run smoothly and perfectly. That's not realistic. That's not life. That's not the way life goes. So expect something. Expect something is going to try and knock you off your perch. Something is going to try and get you to go back to your comfort zone and hide out there because it's safe. No. I want you to see challenges as like the universe or God or whatever you want to call it. It's like they've heard your desire to achieve the goal and are so totally on your side to helping you achieve it and becoming that next level badass, committed, disciplined version of you, that you're now being sent the very types of challenges that you need to overcome in order to become that next version of you. Right? So you're going to expect challenges. You're not going to let them drag you off track and lead you to quitting completely. You are just going to get back on with your plan and keep going. I want to remind you to drop the drama around this. It's the drama in our head that makes us quit. The drama in our head is not helpful. It's the rubbish that we tell ourselves about how we won't succeed, how we have always failed, we're never going to succeed. I want you to stop listening to that stuff in your head and just follow what you've got on your piece of paper or in your phone. Follow the plan. Take the drama away from it. Right? I this morning didn't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to go do my workout. No, I had resistance. I wasn't relying on motivation, but it's a commitment. It's a commitment. It's in my diary. Here we go. Here's the time. Let's go. Because I know that if I build this commitment and this discipline, it's soon going to become a habit to me. I know that soon, if I don't go to the gym, if I don't do my workout, my brain's going to be going, whoa, what, something's wrong. We need to go to the gym. Go, 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 go. It's going to be such a habit for me soon that it's going to be on autopilot. All right? So expect those challenges, become committed and disciplined, and keep going. Even if you have challenges, keep going. Keep going. Don't let them knock you off track completely. I think I'm going to do a future session on commitment and discipline and why or motivation. Why motivation is bullshit when it comes to achieving your goals. If you'd like something on that, let me know. Future self needs Adele. Yes, future self needs now brain to move the now feet first. Then the now mind muscles can support the future feet again next day. No, your brain's the one that's going to drag you off track, right? The brain is the one that's going to throw up the resistance. So get your feet moving. Just get your feet moving. Shut down the noise in the brain. Your brain will soon be on board. Your brain is the one that wants to drag you off track. Alrighty, folks. I hope you enjoyed that today, and I hope it's given you a little bit of insight into how I see challenges and how I deal with challenges, and to how I expect challenges, I guess, and then how I approach them and how I don't let them be the thing that's going to drag me off track. I know that my motivation, we're at week 3 now, we're just finishing week 3. I know that my motivation is not going to continue for the full 8 weeks. It's not. But I've got every single workout and every single meal plan and whatever logged into my calendar for the 8 weeks. It's there. I'm just going to stick to it. And I'm going to make sure that if I have to move stuff, it's moving around in between all my appointments, my clients. And I know that if something comes to knock me off track, or if I have another challenge of some sort, I've got a strained hamstring now. I did legs today. I've now got a strained hamstring. But I know that if something else tries to knock me off track, I'm not going to use it as an excuse to quit. I'm going to use it as an excuse to double down. I'm going to use it as a reason to stay even more committed to the journey. And particularly because I've got you lot here keeping me accountable. All right. So now, if any of you are needing some extra help and support with achieving your goal, I highly recommend just even booking a call with me to chat about my Plant Power Transformation program. I'm not just going to tell you what to do. I'm not just going to give you a meal plan and say, here's what you should be eating. Go away and do it. No, here's where we get really deep with what it is that, 1, led to the weight gain, and 2, with rewiring or repatterning what is going on for you that might be preventing you from losing the weight. A lot of the time it's what's going on in here and what's going on in here, what's going on in our thoughts, what's going on in our heart and our emotions. All right, so some people are a little bit confused about food, are a little bit confused about what to eat and some of the other healthy habits that we need in order to lose the weight. All of that, guys, is documented in my weight loss guide. So if you don't have my weight loss guide, please just put a note in the comments saying weight loss guide, please, and I will send it to you. All right. So that outlines my basics, my absolute basics for weight loss. So that sort of stuff is fairly easy. Like in terms of understanding, it makes sense as to why we need these things. And if you haven't, like, there's plenty of videos in the past around whole food plant-based eating and other healthy habits for weight loss. So go and look at the guides and go and look at some of those. But yeah, within the coaching, it's about what was it really that led you to unhealthy eating, to stop listening to your body, to break down that relationship that you have with yourself or with your food. And we start working on that, because that's the thing that at a deeper level really needs to be addressed in order for you to achieve your weight loss goals long term, because that's what we want. I don't just want you going on a diet and restricting yourself for a short period of time so that you can then lose the weight, and then you haven't dealt with all the reasons underneath why you put on the weight in the first place. I'm going to help you step into that next level version of you, and hold your hand while you're doing it and make it easy and make it doable, so that you feel like a new person. That's why it's called Plant Power Transformation. You feel like a transformed person at the end of us working together. So if any of you would like to have a conversation about my program, please just put Plant Power Transformation or transformation in the comments, and I'll reach out to you and we can have a chat. Obviously, any chat that we have is no obligation. I'm not a hard sell. Any of my clients would tell you I'm not there to pressure you into signing up with me. One, I need to make sure that that you are a fit for the program, that I feel I can help you, and two, that you feel like the program is a fit for you as well. All right, so that's the way we roll around here. I'm here for the people who want to lose their weight, who want to develop the commitment to themselves, the commitment and the discipline to keep following through every single day, and they don't want to just rely on motivation, because we know it doesn't last. All right, my friends, if you have any more questions, please drop those into the comments, and I will and I'll come back to you, because right now I'm going to sign off. I've got another group I've got to go to. I've got to go to my Kickstarters. They're all having amazing results over there too. All right, so you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you back here probably same time next week. All right.